All right, welcome to the next section of this class. We are going to start talking about just plants. Before this lesson, we've talked about how plants relate to us, how plants relate to the economy, how plants relate to the environment around them. Now we are talking about plants, specifically plant cell structure. So the learning goal here is that you'll be able to identify the key parts of a plant cell and differentiate between a plant and an animal cell. You should have learned this in biology, but we're going to go over it again. All right, so first, plant cells versus animal cells. This is what a plant cell could look like. Does every single plant cell look like this? No, but that's a good example of a plant cell. Here's an example of an animal cell. Does every single animal cell look like this? No, but it's a good example. You can see the difference between these very clearly. All right, so we're going to talk about things we see only in plant cells. So cell walls, they are unique to plant cells and they provide structural support. If you poke a human, we are soft and squishy. It's our bones that kind of like hold us up and together and all of the things. Plants, you could have a really thin leaf, but it might droop a little bit, but it still has very clear structure, and a lot of that is thanks to the cell walls. Chloroplasts are exclusive to plant cells. They are involved in photosynthesis. That's what's green right here, and why most plants are green. Now, yes, there are some animals that are green, like some lizards. However, they're not photosynthesizing. It's just a different pigment. But plants are green because they photosynthesize. And then central vacuole, it's like a little bubble kind of. It is prominent in plant cells and regulates water storage. It is not exclusive or unique, but we tend to only see them in plant cells. All right, so animal cells versus plant cells. This is our nice squishy animal cell. They tend to be round or irregular in shape, like this guy right here, not a circle. It's actually a really long cell, but that would be irregular shaped. Plant cells tend to be a little more squarish, cubic. Plant cells also tend to they can be bigger, up to 100 micrometers, whereas an animal cell is only 30 micrometers. And if we look at our organelles here, the little things within the cells, a lot of them are the same, but plant cells have that cell wall and the chloroplast, which animal cells do not. We also see this vacuole. This is a vacuole, and then this right here, the vacuole. So bigger picture of a plant cell. So we have our cell wall, we have our chloroplast, we have our vacuole. All right. For the rest of this presentation, I'm going to go over specific parts of a cell or organelles or things in the cells that we need to know about. This presentation's the first one on this topic, so it's going to be brief overview. I'll have more like diagram pictures to show you what they look like, and then during our lab day this week, we will look at them more specifically and what they look like in real life under a microscope. So let's start with the cell wall. So the cell wall is a rigid outer layer. It is made up of cellulose, hemicellulose, pectin, and lignin. So in this guy right here, it is number 5, the yellow around the outside. And here it's what's making these guys squarish. And it provides structural support and protection. Next is the plasma membrane. So right on the inside layer, this number 3 right here, inside layer of that cell wall, we still have a plasma membrane, and that's the cell's outer boundary. It controls the passage of substances in and out, and it has selective permeability. That means some specific molecules can cross and some cannot. All right, cytoplasm, same graphic. It's just the jelly-like filling that takes up the space in the cell. So the cell's internal fluid, it is made up of cytosol, which is the fluid, and the organelles, the cellular structures, all of these little sprinkles on the inside, organelles. It acts as a medium for various cellular processes. We're going to talk about photosynthesis and cellular respiration, and cytoplasm is where some of that can take place. All right, the nucleus. In this guy right here, it's not the clearest, but it's going to be number 2 right here, nucleus. It's the cell's control center. So the components are the nuclear envelope, the membrane on the outside. The nucleolus is like it looks like the yolk on the inside, and then chromatin. And then it houses genetic information and directs cell activities. That's where the DNA lives and makes sure everything's happening as it should, in theory. Next is endoplasmic reticulum. This right here is rough ER, but it's like folded membranes. So It is the cell's transport system. So there's two types. This is rough ER. This has ribosomes. Smooth ER looks just like this, but without these little purple dots. And it's involved in protein synthesis and lipid metabolism. Now, ribosomes are protein synthesizers. So the rough ER that has these little dots on it, that's where protein synthesis is happening. Smooth ER is where lipids are being metabolized. All right, Golgi apparatus. This is like the FedEx of the cell, more folded membranes. It is the packaging and processing center, and it modifies and packages proteins and lipids to be sent wherever they need to be sent. They are a key role in intracellular transport. So intra meaning like between. All right, mitochondria. We also have these. We also have Golgi apparatus and endoplasmic reticulum as well. But mitochondria are the cell's powerhouse, the powerhouse of the cell, the mitochondria. So mitochondria generates energy through cellular respiration. When we talk about photosynthesis versus cellular respiration, photosynthesis is obviously plants. When we talk about cellular respiration, a lot of the times we are focusing on humans do or animals do cellular respiration. Plants do too. That's how they break down the food or the energy that they have, the sugar that they have created through photosynthesis. But cellular respiration happens in plants too. Mitochondria, if you did not know, actually have their own DNA and membrane. So here's their outer membrane, and then they have inner membranes as well. All right, chloroplasts, again, these are plants only. They're green. This is the site of photosynthesis. The function is to convert sunlight into chemical energy, and it contains chlorophyll for capturing light energy. Vacuoles, in this guy, it's this big gray bubble right here. Vacuoles are storage and regulation structures, and the central vacuole stores water, maintains turgor pressure. It makes sure that that cell is full of water, rigid, and all of that. When you see plants wilting, it's because their vacuole doesn't have enough water, and so it's losing some of that pressure. Other vacuoles can also be used to store various substances, including pigments and toxins. All right, peroxisomes, and this guy, they are organelles involved in metabolic reactions. Peroxisomes detoxify harmful substances and break down fatty acids, and then these guys convert stored lipids into carbohydrates. And we have the cytoskeleton. The cytoskeleton is the cellular scaffolding and transportation system. So scaffolding meaning like it helps hold things up and together, and transportation system, it's like they can be kind of like a line that things crawl around, like a thread kind of that goes through the cells that then packages are sent along and they follow that line. Components are microtubules, microfilaments, and intermediate filaments. They help maintain cell shape, support organelles, and enable cell movement. All right, in conclusion, plant cells are complex structures with various specialized organelles, and understanding their function is essential for comprehending plant biology and its applications. All right, if you have any questions, please let me know, and I will see you in the next one.